What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is November 28th of 2017. Well, folks, today I have a mix of emotions on a personal level, and I know many of you out there share those same exact emotions. Today, I'm proud and humbled to say that though it's not on every exchange, to be fair, not every exchange has reached it just yet, the average exchange rate on CoinMarketCap.com for Bitcoin has reached $10,000. $10K, the big even that we've all been waiting for. This is pretty incredible. And every time Bitcoin makes new highs, it makes me think back. It makes me think back all the way back to 2011 when I first saw Bitcoin at $3 to $5. And at the time I was trading stocks, and I watched the intro video they had, and learned a little bit about the basics of what is Bitcoin. It was this digital currency, and I just didn't understand the ramifications of blockchain at the time, and I guess I just didn't see it back then. But I remember keeping up with it over the years and seeing it continue to rise up in price. And I remember at the beginning of this year I had to get involved in it. But even back then, it was so small compared to where it is now. And it seemed like ever since we started this channel, even back at the beginning of this channel, which was really just back in July, where we were covering Bitcoin around $2,000 to $3,000, we're now at $10,000 for Bitcoin. And it gets me more excited every single time we make both new highs and bring new people into the community. Because as the demand grows, the price grows. And I've seen it in the community, the more people getting involved. I've been seeing it in the comment feed down below. I've been seeing it in the Discord. I've been seeing it in our Telegram. I've been seeing it everywhere in the Data Dash community, as well as cryptocurrencies as a whole. And it's not just Bitcoin that's killing it. It's every cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are feeling the love. And people who denied it, especially those who denied Bitcoin, are probably hanging their heads in shame today. Or they're rushing to buy Bitcoin. So, that being said, congratulations to all of you out there who are early adopters. As I've been saying throughout the channel, if you've been here a month ago, or the past few months, you're early adopters in the space. You are ahead of so many people that still don't know what Bitcoin is, and I think that's an awesome thing. And in the long term, I think Bitcoin's got a ton more potential to come from here. I don't think it's going to just stop at 10K. Just my personal opinion. However, we are now at a very big level. And as much as I think it's a time to celebrate, especially for those of you who are early adopters, we need to think about the ramifications of $10,000 and take both the trader's mindset, but also an investor mindset as well, and apply some kind of general logic as to what this means. So we're now at $10,000, or at least we're approaching $10,000 on other exchanges relatively soon. And as we approach there, we all know, as if you've stuck around with the channel, if you've been around here since I talked when we were reaching around $5,000 in previous, big even levels, 3,000, 5,000, those were the big previous resistance levels. With big even numbers comes the headlines. This leads to FOMO. As you all know, not only is CoinDesk and Cointelegraph, as generic as it is, going to continue to just printing out, the idea of, oh, the price is at 10,000. Oh my gosh, They always seem to love to do it, but there's a reason. It's because it draws headlines. Draws eyes to the headlines when you have something flashy like that. And it's not just going to be CoinDesk and Cointelegraph. It's not just going to be YouTubers who are doing it. It's going to be CNBC. It's going to be Yahoo Finance. It's going to be every single network of finance talking about this, because Bitcoin is drawing the headlines, and people who originally weren't going to get involved are starting to FOMO. They don't understand Bitcoin, they don't understand its technology, why it's valued this much, but they're getting involved, and they're doing it now. They can't wait any longer. They're extremely exuberant to get in. Now, why does this concern me? Well, these are the people, if we really think about it in a logistical sense, as much as I'm all for bringing new people into the community, these are the same people who, I like using the analogy of, I was talking to someone on Discord about this, the water cooler coffee machine analogy, where you got that guy or girl you always talk to, coworker of yours, and you've been the Bitcoin guy or gal at work, and you've been saying, oh, Bitcoin, is it 2,000 or 3,000? You're like, Bitcoin's going to be a huge thing. It's this blockchain technology that really makes it revolutionary. You tried explaining it. And of course, they always look at you, as much as you spent 30 minutes or an hour talking to them about, like, yeah, seems like a scam. I don't know if I really want to put my money into that. I don't know enough about it. I don't have money at the time, whatever excuse they toss at you. And those same people who were extreme skeptics of it are now getting involved in it because they see it at 10K. Now, why is this important to recognize? Because in most markets, in most revolutions in finance of some sort, you always see people coming in later rather than earlier. And that's why when you see the skeptics starting to get involved in something, you can expect, much like with any rally in Bitcoin, when you were buying it at $10 or $1,000 and now it's at $3,000 and now people want to get involved, people are FOMOing. Well, what's our first intuition to think about that? It's to think that most likely we're gonna experience a correction. It's how traditional markets work. People usually get in late, and it stinks because they get burnt. They add huge cash positions into Bitcoin at these highs, and then it goes down most likely because institutional buyers who bought low are selling high. And I think more than anything, if you're a long-term investor as well, you're probably worried about this as well, because it's going to get a lot of people involved who don't have an understanding of blockchain, who don't understand that these markets are volatile, and they're going to get burned, and it's going to keep a lot of people from getting involved in cryptocurrencies. That's what worries me. But again, at the end of the day, it's the decision of other people. I think we all realize, most of us are mature adults who realize that once we put money into something, there's a risk that we could lose it all. So again, I could ramble on about this for hours, but I think that, as I've been concisely saying, I think we're going to see resistance around 10K as we kind of have seen. It's kind of been slowing down as we've been getting up to these highs in Bitcoin around the big even. And there's a reason for that, first and foremost. It's the sell walls and stuff that are coming in. So if we come over here to GDAX, we can see there's well over 1,500, I'd say almost around 1,500 Bitcoin that need to be cleared through in order for us to get to the level of 10,000. I just don't know if we have the buy orders there to really meet it. So that's what concerns me. I don't know if we're going to make it there, and if we don't see the momentum continue, institutions will start to sell. That's kind of common in markets. If you don't have the retail investor push, retail investors are known to push prices higher, but if they can't have enough buying volume to come through to clear these sell walls, institutions will stop setting sell walls and they'll start selling. They'll pretty much pay whatever the buyer's willing to pay, and they're going to start cashing out en masse. So that's what I worry about. Again, not only are we at fresh time highs, not only are we going towards a big even, the sell walls are looking a little bit bulky as well. And you can look at this across all exchanges. If you go here to Bitfinex as well, same thing. Again, I don't know why my my crypto watch order book has been like bugging out. But if you generally look at 10,000, you can see there's about $2,000 in Bitcoin orders that are continuing to sit there, and they need to be cleared through if you want to get past $10,000. And the fact that on most of these exchanges, on the case of Bitfinex, there's only $100 of price action left, and it has to get through 2,000 Bitcoin to get that. It's not an easy task, especially at these prices. So, you're really talking about, at the end of the day, if you were to just round it off here at these levels to $10,000, if you have 2,000 Bitcoin, you're talking about a little bit under, $20 million in volume. That's a lot of money. Okay, so just keep it in mind. It's a lot of price to move all at once. Okay, so let's think a little bit more on a strategic sense here. We've already talked about how we're expecting a pullback. Well, first and foremost, I want to let you all know, because I'm transparent with you all. I don't try to just, spark things in the market. I did go ahead and sell some of my Bitcoin, just being fair and transparent with you all. Again, it's been what I hope it doesn't shock you all. It's been what I've been attesting to, is where I said, yeah, I'd probably be cashing out around towards 10K, because I believe there's going to be a correction. The question is, how big of a correction, and what am I doing to strategically, bet against this? Well, I'm not selling all my cryptocurrencies. There is no proof that it's not going to stop. There's no proof that it can't clear through the sell wall and keep going higher, as much as this has been absolutely exponential price movement. Some markets do surprise, and Bitcoin has not been an exception. It has been doing fantastic. But what my strategy is if you, again, not financial advice, not something you should just follow because Data Dash is doing it. You really got to reevaluate it for yourself and see if this meets towards what you want. I'm holding a lot of cash on the side. I've been holding cash position for quite some time, and I'm waiting for a good, decent scaled correction for Bitcoin. I think that we are going down to $5,000, worst case scenario. We also might catch support up here at 6,000, as well as 7,000. Now, my buying strategy is going to be in layers. It's never all at once. Okay, I'm not just going to put all my cash at one level and hope for the best on a dip. I buy in different layers. So I'm going to buy my first initial partial share, 25%, at the $7,000 range. And if it continues to sell through, I'll still hold it. No panic selling. The other 25%, I'm going to be adding right here at 6,000. Very simple stuff. And then down here, the last 50% around the $5,000 range. Now, keep in mind, these levels here, I'm not going to be buying specifically at the big evens. As we talk about on the channel, big evens usually act as support and resistance, and sometimes you can miss triggering your order on that. So I'm going to be probably buying a little bit ahead of that. Probably buy around 7,100 for the $7,000 level, probably around 6,100 around the $6,000 level. Same, continuing on with 5,000, probably buy a little bit ahead of time. But I think these are the only levels you can find a sense of support. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to 5,000. I know many of you are like, Nick, you're crazy to think this. You're crazy to think that it can't, it's going to go down that much. Folks, we've been in an absolute rally here. And there needs to be corrections from time to time. I know we can celebrate all we want. We've had a great time being a part of Bitcoin and stuff so far. And I think, again, we still got a ways to go. And if you're a long-term investor, you don't want to worry about it whatsoever. You think Bitcoin in the next few months is going to go towards 50K or something, and you just don't want to stress about it. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you that that's a dumb idea, because I don't think it is. If you just want to do that, that's fine. If you don't want to trade markets, no big deal. But it's the reason why I've cashed out some of my position. I think that we're going to see a nice correction, and I would like to buy Bitcoin at a discount. It'd be really nice. Again, no guarantees. That's why I'm not selling all my crypto, and it wouldn't be that much of a bit of damage to me for the bit I've cashed out. It's just a little side addition to the cash that I've been saving up. So, you got to do with it as you will. We all have different opinions at the end of the day. I know some people hate that I even deny Bitcoin is going to see a correction. Or I even deny that Bitcoin is going to slow down and see a correction. It's just my opinion. I've traded too many markets. I'm not here to brag in that sense. I'm just saying I've seen too many people FOMO into things, and they rush into it without understanding the product, understanding the technology, or understanding the company in the sense of stocks. And they get burnt. They really do. Remember, we don't buy at highs. We buy at lows. And I just can't add any positions up here to Bitcoin. My personal opinion. Now, if there was a currency crisis or something like that, where this is would exponential price action would be absolutely justified, 24/7. I would think different. But right now, you do have some retail adoption. You do have some serious new accounts moving in on Coinbase. There's actually, I think we found out the other day that there was more Coinbase accounts than there were Charles Schwab accounts. That's pretty big, but the capital still isn't there yet to really see to justify this kind of price gain. So, again, we got to keep level-headed here. So, if you all want to know my strategy, I'm going to be adding down here with my cash position. Now, in regards to some of my altcoins, a lot of you are asking, Nick, what are you holding specifically? Well, I don't really want to list out all the specific altcoins I'm holding. However, I do own decent portions in long-term plays that, again, kind of like the Bitcoin that I haven't sold. It's a long-term play. again, just trading. I'm doing a little bit of half and half. As you all know, I've been moving more towards long-term investing, but I do have some trades on these bigger swings. So that's generally what I'm doing. I have some altcoins that I think are either good hedges against Bitcoin for a trade, or I'm holding generally altcoins that I think are good for the long term. And you've got to assess those things for yourself. You have to see what coins you think could do well against Bitcoin. Okay. As you all know, I've got some ones that I think are going to do well in the long term, and I'm not looking to sell them anytime soon. So just keeping it simple, keeping it neutral. This market has been in a great run up, but I think at the same time, you can't sustain this kind of price movement. Just think this was back. If we go down here on the chart, $6,000 was literally 15 days ago. 15 days. We've been able to go from 6,000 to almost 10,000. It's more than a 50% gain. It's a little quick, a little too fast. So just letting you all know, irrational exuberance can also make up the difference. As I'll say it a million times on the channel. So just trade cautiously. Don't panic. Don't panic sell because Data Dash took a portion out. Do your own research. Make the decision for yourself. And things will come quick enough. Whatever you decide to do. All right? Well, anyways, everyone, on that note, I do want to end positively and say thank you all for the continued support. And thank you all for becoming a part of this crypto community. I think it's going to be a really big revolution in the long term. And it is a historic day to see Bitcoin around the range of $10,000. So to that, we have a toast, a snap, and we say to Jamie Dimon, how do you like me now? Talk to y'all later. Take care.